be in the jury. You know, like I'm used to be on the other side where the other guys are pitching. So today I'm on the jury. Marana, we want sisters here. It's worth mentioning and showing off. We want sisters here in 2017. From there, we have grown. We are operating in Zambia, Botswana, South Africa, and all over. Our team has grown, I think, to close to 50 now. Yeah, so I'm very excited. I think I've earned the seat to be the jury, and I'm hoping we can select really a winning startup. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Impact Hub, for the invitation. Excited to be here. My name is Bertha Ndlovu. I'm the Southern Africa Area Manager for the E4 Impact Foundation. We are very passionate about the SDGs as well, so I'm excited to be really here and hear what the presenters have to present. And we run an MBA and certificate program in entrepreneurship in 20 African countries with 20 African 24 actually institutions in Africa. So very excited to be here, and thank you for allowing me to participate.
Good morning. I think I've introduced myself already. I'm Melus from UNDP country office. I'm the national coordinator TEX for SDGs. So SDGs is my daily job. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, so first up we have Tanata Mukwacha from Collabo.me. Collabo.me is an arts organization that works with creatives and formal institutions, including creative industries and the creative economy in Africa. Collabo.me allows for creators to collaborate on projects remotely through its online platform without having to physically meet. The product works to uplift the creative economy in Africa through allowing the industry to generate revenue by facilitating partnerships between the creatives and the corporate world. Individual creatives are able to generate revenue as contributing artists for that project. So Tanatswa, please come up.
Okay, good morning. My name is Tanatswa, and I'm a founder of Collabo.me. So I'm just waiting for the team to. Okay, once again, good morning to you. So Collabo.me is an online platform for creatives to collaborate on projects. So your creatives. Okay, we're back. Okay, so we work with digital creatives such as graphic designers, video editors, writers to collaborate on a single project, remotely, of course. And really what happens was that African artists don't have a tailor-made work environment to work on single projects. You could see with the coming of COVID-19 and how lockdowns affected other people. Former work mainly resorted to Zoom and Slack, but nothing was really made specifically for the creatives. And there's low revenue for African youth in the creative economy, and over 60% of the revenue is actually going to creatives who are established and over the age of 30. It is also difficult to individually work on a single project. As a creative, imagine any song, any video that you've seen. In most cases, more than a single person actually worked on that creative project. And there's also a great disconnect between formal opportunities such as NGOs, private sector, with young African creatives. So our solution is an online platform that allows creatives to work on a single project. As an example, if it is a song, you have your resources up there, which can be an instrumental and details about what we are singing about. For example, we partner with Plant International, which works with girls' rights, and they want to create a song about child marriages. So then you have an instrumental up, you have the resources to the song, different artists access that instrumental and what we are singing about. You record to your own studio, then you upload your vocals. The project administrator then aggregates all that content into one final production, that is one final song. That can be broken down into two categories as well, such as graphic designers can actually work on the cover art of that same song. So young creatives can generate revenue through the funding that has been available to that specific project. People who have worked in that project and their production has been taken into the final production and actually get paid. It also creates a network of young creatives whereby you have graphic designers, writers from Harare, Bulawayo, South Africa, all in a single place and can all collaborate on a single project. And it creates a digital connectivity between the young creatives and different formal opportunities. As an example, like I said, we have partnered with Plan International, and they get to access that pool of young creatives. So as a creative myself, we've been using Gmail, Slack, Dropbox, and different platforms to collaborate on projects. But the problem is that you actually have to use at least 2 or 3 of these platforms to work on a single production. But with Collab.me, we've managed to put all these different features into one platform such that you are actually able to do a full production on the platform without using 2 or 3 different platforms. So we got our first funding from Zimbabwe German Society, which allowed us to have a co-creation session whereby we had different creatives collaborate with us, tell us what they want on the platform. We ran a beta test, then we launched the platform in December last year. We have over 450 creatives who have already signed up on the platform, and we're in the process of receiving our second grant again from the German Society, which will allow us to do funded projects now. And we have established a partnership with Accountability Lab, Miss Dev Zimbabwe Trust, and they're willing to work on projects that adhere to the different organizational targets that they want to do. And we've been communicating with the Magamba Network, Afrotopia, which are some of the largest creative hubs in Zimbabwe. We just started the rollout of our first projects, so you can actually visit the website and see the projects that are already up. Team collaboration software market has been sized at 17 billion. This was research done by Fortune magazine. And oftentimes what happens, your paying customers might not be your final users. And for us, our paying customers include media houses, creative hubs, non-profits, private sector, governments, and then our target users are the digital African creatives, which are slightly above 2.6 million in Africa. So we are a social enterprise. We want to leverage on having partnerships such as grant funding, like we have already established with German Society. In future, want to install a subscription model which will allow private sector to subscribe per month and then access different features on our platform. We also want to leverage on having content that we only create, then we'll try to monetize, and then those different creatives will actually get paid from that funding. Then in future, also have adverts on the platform so that we increase our revenue. This is our team. I'm Tanaso Mkwacha, I'm the creative director. I've worked as a freelance creative in Zimbabwe for quite some time. Itai is our chief technology officer, has over 15 years experience as a web systems developer. And Denzel is an arts journalist, actually an award-winning arts journalist. He does our branding. Then Nga is the project manager. She works with our daily operations as an organization. So our financial projections, as we project, we want to leverage firstly by having partnerships with non-profits, creative sector in the creative space, and already they've been showing different interests in our platform. And as we grow and we have more subscribers, more creatives, we want to have subscription model, and this will allow us to generate more revenue as an organization. We are looking for an investment of 10,000 USD. This will allow us to develop our business, that's creating a toolkit to manage the intellectual property, our business processes, then also further develop the software. As we get more sign-ups, as we get more projects, this will be a bit more heavier on the software. Therefore, we need to further develop the platform. Then also to cover operational costs as an organization. Our mission is to foster and organize digital collaborations for young African creatives, and the vision is to achieve a stable creative economy for young African creatives through digital collaborations. And this fits specifically to SDG number 8, which speaks to decent work and economic growth. However, because some of these projects might be directed to different SDGs, as you can see, for example, we can work with women in terms of women inclusion. We do a song around that. That's SDG number 5. We do on climate change. That's another SDG as well. So thank you very much for listening. You can visit the site by scanning the QR code or emailing us as well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Tanaso, for your presentation. I can see that you're a true creative. So I want to ask about the impact. So you talk about decent work and economic growth. So in like 5 years from now, how many people do you see employed by your Collabo.me platform?
Okay, thank you so much. So the intention with us is not generally to have all these creatives as our employees, but rather they can work freelance but gain extra income by collaborating on funded projects. So as an example, a song can be done by 5 to 6 people that can work on the vocals. Another 2 or 3 can work on the graphic design for the cover art. And if it is a funded project, depending on the funding that has been availed, all these 10 people can just work on a song and get fairly paid. So that's for an individual project.
Okay, but still, in terms of numbers, what do you envision?
For us, like for now, we have over 450 already signed up. But I think in the next 5 years, as we get more and more funded projects, I'm sure more people, not only in Zimbabwe or Southern Africa, the whole of Africa will have joined. So I think roughly around 10 to 15,000, I think would be able to impact them.
Okay, thank you very much. I have so many questions, but I'll try and choose some. Okay, so my first kind of like soft question maybe, I would like to know how you handle your IP, since you are working with a lot of creatives, so issues of royalties, and just to understand how you're handling the IP. And then, how much did you get from the German funding that you got, and what's your current runway on that? And linked to that, just to understand, because you're asking for 10,000, that 10,000 also, what does it really mean? It looks like a small amount of money. So I'm just trying to understand these two. I'm trying to understand what you got from the Germany Foundation and the 10,000, so that I have an idea. So yeah, I hope I.
Yeah, it's fine. So last year around. Okay.
I've got a question which is almost linked. You talked about tailor-made software, so I'd like to know more about that one. Did you develop it, and where did you get the resources, or is it something which is licensed? Thank you.
Okay. I think I'll just go first. So we developed the platform. I come from an IT background myself, but my CTO is a bit more experienced at that. So we did the development from scratch as a team of 3 guys. Then in terms of from the German Society, last year around June, July, we got a 1,000 grant, which allowed us to do 3 main activities. So at first we did a co-creation session whereby we invited different creatives. They told us, and we were discussing on the features that we want on the platform, and then so that we ensure that the community builds the platform and we don't put anything they would not want. We ran a beta test with them, then we launched. Then this time now we're getting a 4,000 grant, which is allowing us to, which I would answer the second question on IP. So with the first activity we're doing is we're creating an IP safeguarding toolkit. So we're inviting a consultant, our community of creatives will be there. Then we develop, I think, a conclusive IP toolkit, which would allow everyone to actually pitch in and tell how we can best protect IP. But in terms of security features, we have already put. So in the other project that you cannot see other contributors, you can actually put a closed project in that you cannot download the other person's contribution, and that's the other security features. And also you actually report malpractices of other creatives. And if that gets to us, you then get removed from the platform. So we're just following how Facebook, Instagram, or other established platforms try to do it in terms of managing that.
Okay, I think you've sort of part answered the question I was going to. I was going to ask you, as you benchmark yourself, because I think this is all about scaling you to new markets. And when you benchmark yourself in the market, which competitor keeps you awake at night and why?
So basically, Gmail, WhatsApp, and other custom softwares. So for example, other companies have their own custom software to collaborate on projects. I know established media houses can have their own local software to manage their own projects. However, how we kept that is that Collabo.me not only allows for your own company to work on your own projects, but sometimes you might need other creatives to work on your own projects. That would allow you to get to access that network again. And then in terms of sorry, can you just repeat your question?
My question was on, I want to see your scaling strategy.
Scaling strategy.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So our scaling strategy, we're mainly focusing first on working with creatives, with creative hubs and non-profits, specifically supporting creatives. I worked for Magamba Network for about 4 to 5 years, and the response that I'm getting as a person who was working in the non-profit sector is a bit more lenient to what I'm getting from the private sector. So private sector mainly look at how it's going to give us money quickly, and how much work have you done already, and which are the projects you have done. But non-profits have shown interest in working with us as a startup, and I believe we have been getting a good work from them and good money to actually scale up our organization. So we are working with creative hubs, non-profits first, then we try to leverage on private sector once our organization is established.
Thank you so much, Tanatswa. Is there a burning question from our audience? Just one. Okay, I assume not. All right, that's fine. So next up we have my money project, Personal Finance Lab, represented by Nyaradzo. Personal Finance Lab is a dynamic organization that empowers women through comprehensive research and financial education, with a range of innovative platforms and resources, including seminars, workshops, panel discussion, articles, and books. Personal Finance Lab aims to equip individuals with the knowledge and skills needed to make informed financial decisions and achieve their financial goals. So Nyaradzo, you're up next. People clap. Clap.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. And as introduced, I am Nyaradzo Chauruva. I'm the CEO and founder of My Money Project, also Personal Finance Lab. Did you guys know that only 33% of adults worldwide are financially illiterate? And that includes graduates and PhD holders. This means over 2 billion adults, and mainly women, lack the basic financial knowledge and skills that they need to make sound financial decisions. So they are more likely to struggle to save for retirement or any other financial goal for that matter. They are more likely to live under perpetual financial stress, and they fall into a debt trap. But Personal Finance Lab brings the solution. We offer financial education services that can be personalized to customer needs. And we do that through digital financial education, which is delivered through a variety of online channels, such as online courses, mobile apps, webinars, social media. We also have physical financial education, which is delivered through seminars, workshops, and other financial education consulting services. The drive of Personal Finance Lab is to promote the participation of adults, particularly women, in financial education programs, and to encourage them to own productive assets and have equal rights to economic resources. And this is in line, alignment with SDGs 4 and 5, which is quality education and gender equality, respectively. We pride in our unique selling proposition, which is that there is no one size that fits all. So the personalization of our programs with detailed impact measurement on participants' quality of life. Since inception, which is 3.5 years ago, we have reached just over 6,000 people with the money message. And those are the different platforms that we have used, mainly on YouTube, which is this most significant part, 71.8%. Others are distributed amongst Facebook, WhatsApp, LinkedIn, and in-person seminars. For a 3-year we have our income for the 3 years projected at 127,000, and that is if we manage to get our startup grant, online and in-person wellness sessions, and book sales. Our cost of sales, we're looking at 17,000, and this is mainly from the production of the books and our training manuals. Then we also have our admin and operational expenditure. And you'd see in the first graph, 2023, will also include capital expenditure, which is on the learning management system that we need to buy. Our profit after tax for the 3 years, sitting at 58,000, and it's after tax because we have a contribution of 19,000 towards our taxes. Our scaling plans to reach more women in the workplace and those who access financial products. And we'll do this through digitalization. As I mentioned, we're planning on developing a learning management system that women can use to access financial education. And also through partnerships, where we reach out to financial institutions, where these women bank or access financial services. And also through their employers to give them access to the programs. Also to scale up on our staffing, because when we scale up and have more people to work with, then we also need more people to support. So in this, I'm requesting for 2 things. The first one being connections or linkages to partnerships that can promote our services. And the second one being the financial resources that are needed to fund the learning management system and the training aids. And this comes up to $30,000. So more on how we can change the statistics together, you can reach out to me on the numbers on the screen. You can also visit our website, Personal Finance Lab, still under development, but yes, or you can send an email. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much, Nyarazo. So in terms of scaling, how do you plan on scaling your business? Because you talked about partnerships, you talked about staffing, and then you also mentioned that you use social media and YouTube, but in terms of like, I mean, let's talk money, right? You're the money girl. How do you plan on making money at scale? Are you licensing your product? Are you creating an app? Like, I just want to understand. I get the one-on-one and customized part of your business, but in terms of scale, I don't quite understand how you plan on scaling the business beyond the one-on-one customization.
Sure, thank you for that. Yeah, so because in the past, we've been having to engage with our clients directly, but you would understand that people are not willing to part with their hard-earned money. I'll bet it is for their own benefit. So now we are making use of the partnerships, because I believe when their employers pay for them to access these services, then it becomes more affordable for them. So that is in terms of the partnerships.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the presentation. Firstly, you said that it's going to be a personalized, so I want to understand how you plan to scale personalization. Because if it's personal to me and it's personal to, if it's different to all thousands of people, right? How do you scale it if you're going to give tailor-made solutions? So I just want to understand that aspect. And then since you're also the finance guru, I want to know your break-even and the current, like I saw the projection for 3 years, but what's the current financial position of the business right now? And in your other extra reading material, you have won several innovation awards since 2018 and to date, and then you're on this one. So I just want to see how you're making from 2018 when you're winning those awards to 2023. Thank you.
So I think that one was not me. This will be my first pitch. I haven't won any awards. think it's for someone else. But when it comes to personalization, so what I am saying is, instead of just giving everyone a one basket fits all, when I'm looking, I look at the group of people that I'm going to be working with. If it's retirement age, we will tailor make it for that particular group. If we are looking at young people who have just started working, we're going to be looking specifically at that group. So we will not just come and shove a standard kind of teaching on everybody. So that is the personalization. And also, because after this, it will be easier in a group setup. You'll discover that people have unique challenges with their own monies. Then we can also schedule one-on-one sessions through, again, their employers. Thank you. You had asked about break-even as well. So currently, yes, I am breaking even. The figures, I didn't put them there. I thought they didn't really warrant any, they were not so exciting. But yes, I've been doing this. Mainly it's been breaking even because I host, say, a seminar. We get the money, it funds the whole functioning, and that's it. So yes, that's how it's been.
Thank you for your presentation. I have a question, maybe there are two, they are linked. You talk about, I'm mainly interested in SDGs for obvious reasons. You talked about gender equality. For me, it's not coming out clear how your project will help improve or achieve gender equality. And also, to me, it appears that your target population are those who are working already and everything else. So, in terms of equality, are you not excluding the poor? And since it's something which is done online, digital, what about internet connectivity, the cost of going on internet? So, is it not excluding a substantial portion of our population?
I just want to add, so thank you very much for your presentation and great product. Just add to what he's saying. Actually, the first thing that came into my mind when I saw digitalization is women don't go on apps as much as we think they do. Statistics show, I can be corrected, but you know, and how has that been really successful for you? Because the way we appreciate digital platforms is very different from when we talk about gender. And like what he's saying, access to internet, the actual digital literacy skills of your target market. And okay, I'll let you answer that one and then we'll talk about my next question.
Okay. Yeah, thanks for that. So you discover that it will not be possible to reach out to everybody. So I had to niche, I had to have my own niche, and that is my niche. So the niche is working women. From my own story, because I am a working woman, but having worked all those years, no one had ever told me how to manage my own finances. So these are the same group of people that I need to attend to, And we're talking of women as the focus, because naturally, even our population, the numbers are skewed towards women. We are 52% women, 48% are men. Coming to digitalization, and that is why it's an education program. So women need to be taught. This is where the world is going. We cannot ignore that fact. So we do have two ways of reaching to them. As I said, we have the digital. We also have the physical. But we will try to push. But from the traction that we have reached, you realize that we have more viewers on YouTube. We do interact more on YouTube, and that's a digital platform. So people do have access, and especially my niche, as I said, they do have access. But when not, then we will educate the women to make use of those products. Thank you.
My next question is on team, your team. Just share a little bit more with us on your team so that we understand the capacity that you have to actually scale.
Okay, so currently I work with volunteers as and when. So depending on the work, if it's a workshop, then I loop in some volunteers. Sometimes I have to work with experts. So like the last one I had was a panel discussion. So I invite the experts in those areas, and of course volunteers. So on scaling, that is why specifically I also talk of staffing, because I will not be able to manage the load on myself. but I will then need that support and I need to get more staff on board. Thank you.
Maybe just a question on the 30,000. Can you, like, what does 30,000 mean exactly? What are you going to use it for? Because you said you want to use it to develop
A learning management system.
yeah, a learning management system.
And the training aids.
So that's what you want to use the money for?
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Is there a burning question from the audience? No? Okay, that's fine. Well done, Nyarazo. So we have our next presentation or pitch from Mutombo Specialty Teas and Beverages, represented by Epifania Mafuku. Mutombo Specialty Teas is dedicated to revolutionizing the world of herbal teas by crafting delightful and enjoyable blends that cater for tea lovers, beverage enthusiasts, and tea that everyone can enjoy. Their products stand out for being locally sourced, natural, and infused with real flavorful ingredients, all while prioritizing health and medicinal benefits. Mutombo Specialty Teas actively supports and empowers women, enabling them to provide better support for their families and improve their overall quality of life. With a focus on uplifting households and communities, Mutombo Specialty Tea strives to make a positive social impact through its operation. So, Epifania, you can come to the floor.
So hi, I am Epifania Mafuku, co-founder of Mutombo Specialty Teas and Beverages. So, what are we addressing? The ecologically disadvantaged communities have limited food securities and household incomes. Because we are an agro-business country that's focused on agro-business to better livelihoods for the local communities. COVID and, in the local communities, sometimes they like the incentive for stewardship of taking care of those environmental areas. COVID and health awareness has accelerated the people's need for needing to be effects on our health. Exports of unprocessed commodities limit the value of opportunities that are created by that commodity in the source market. How we are addressing this through our business. We're creating opportunities from high-value cash crops. We're adding value to non-timber forest products. And Mutombo Specialty Teas focuses on making herbal teas into something that tea lovers, beverage lovers, and everyone can enjoy rather than endure. We're creating more value closer to the source for better returns to farmers and the local economy, and creating a beneficial relationship between farmers and their natural environment. Our market opportunity. Our product is a niche product, and the real market for our product is going to come from the worldwide market. The herbal tea market is valued at $3 billion in 2021 and projected to reach $4.38 billion by the year 2030. The global specialty food and beverage market was valued at $150 billion in 2021 and projected to reach $373 billion. Our share in this size opportunity is going to be determined by our capacity to grow our business by delivering quality, quantity, and price to the market which we will need support. So it's an endless opportunity from where we stand. We have taken a deliberate position to enter the market and expand our footprint based on our capacity to grow our production capacities. We will be using this period to grow and gain customer feedback through these specialty stores, cafes, and restaurants so we can inform product development and diversification. The cafes and shops our products are found in were organic growth and not us approaching these shops. So the scale up of our market would be done through omni markets, restaurants and cafes, the high-end retail market, and exports. Our competitive advantage is that we use nutraceutical ingredients, no additives, no artificial flavors, and our products are great tasting and healthy. Our business model is anchored on growing the supply chain markets, production, and sustainability in order to deliver shared value. We are committed to making a strong and sufficient supply chain. We work with local smallholder farmers in order to gain natural ingredients, and our working with them is essential to making an equitable food system. Our SDG food impact. We work to ensure that smallholder farmers have access to stable income so they have access to their basic needs. And in areas where they are otherwise ecologically disadvantaged, they can grow cash crops like Rosella, which enables them to generate income. And the cumulative effect of 1 and 2 will translate into 3 by ensuring that there's a stable income. This allows the communities to be able to afford better health care and reduce the risk of malnutrition. The numbers are largely driven by our growth in production capacity financed through the sales from the business. Once again, these numbers are from an organically growing test market, if you may. Our ask, we're asking for a grant or low interest, low capital to develop the production facility complete with sorting, processing, drying, and testing capacity for 5 tons of Rosella each year. Export market exposure and connections with those potential export markets for our products, and technical and financial support to achieve compliance for those markets. Cheers.
Thank you, Epi, for your presentation. I was hoping we could get some tea today, but
I've got some up in the back.
Talk about the work that you do with the women in the rural areas. Are they just growing the Rosella? Are they processing it? Yeah, I just want to understand
we, the women in the areas located over here, the women are the main growers of the hibiscus. So they have been trained to grow, harvest, and dry the Rosella that we do purchase from them.
Okay, and then is there any additional training that you do with them, or you're sourcing just the raw product from them?
We're sourcing just the raw product from them. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Firstly, I'd like to commend you for your ask. I think it's good to ask for 100,000. So, yeah, so I'm very happy you're asking for 100,000. Yeah, because, yeah, so I made one mistake myself. Like sometimes asking for too little is not a good thing. So, but then let's go down to business. I'm going to really ask very tough questions in my own opinion, but I hope they're very easy. So the first one, in your packaging here, you refer to that you reduce uric acid, reduce high blood pressure and cholesterol and blood sugar.
Yes.
So you are making a medical remark on this product. So
yes.
Are there any clinical trials? What testing? What basis are you making these remarks on?
I'm making that based off of the research we have done on hibiscus as a plant on its own. There is evidence, and in most, for example, the high blood pressure point, in most supplements that are used, natural supplements that are used to reduce BP levels, the main ingredient is hibiscus essence. So
wait,
there
wait.
is scientific evidence.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
Because the reason why I ask this is the kind of questions that they ask you at a global scale, right?
Yeah.
Where is the study published, by who and how in the research? Because if you make a medical claim, you lead to a high risk of litigation, and then if you don't defend that particular claim, it's going to be very dangerous on an international scale, right? So you need to really have that. And then now,
So maybe just to add on that one, so your study, was it cleared by the Medical Research Council? No, there are all those kind of ethical considerations. So for me, I also echo what Vosa is talking about. You have to be careful when you're making these. There are a lot of things on the internet which make claims which are not substantiated. So you should have all those, the clearance from the Medical Research Council and all those bodies, even Ministry of Health and others, which should certify. For me, your label should say it might, maybe, that can. It's just a suggestion from my side.
No, I understand, yeah.
okay, thank you. And then you said you have been doing organic growth, right?
Yes.
And then you want 100,000, right?
Yes.
And I want to understand now, why are you not going out and selling? If you, okay, so you're saying that people were approaching you.
Yes.
Right, so why are you not going out and selling your product to the people?
This is a test market. So it was us bringing out our idea. Basically, it's a passion, basically, for the love of tea and the love of health, but making sure that health tastes nice. So this is us testing the market and seeing how well the market receives our product. So we would begin to, we will begin to grow our business and grow our business by August this year. That's where our projection has come in, where we have now approached the market.
And my last and final question.
Yes.
What's the unit cost of this? How much does it cost to make this, and how much do you typically sell, the one that I'm holding here?
So that one costs about $7.20, and we sell that one for $15.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Well done. I love the packaging and
Thank
the
you.
branding of the product.
Thank you.
Fortunately, I can't drink it because this would kill me. I have
you're
low
low
blood
BP.
pressure.
Yeah. That is
So
also
that
a
goes
thing.
back to the issue that was raised earlier on. But anyway, I wanted to just ask you in terms of scale once again.
Yeah.
How confident can an investor be if you can't control the source of your raw product? Because you said they are trained, the women are trained,
Yeah.
and I assume they are trained by someone else.
Yeah.
And so how confident are you for you to be given 100,000 and scale this business when you can't control the source of your raw material? Or what are your intentions about doing that?
So very soon, we will be able to control these locations for raw material as Mutombo specifically. We have been given a grant by Weltanga Life of 20,000 for us to be able to go into the farms directly and be able to train and get help from the communities and also we would be using the communities to scale our production, because we do our production and produce our products artisanally. There's no use of machinery. So we would be able to use those locals and train them ourselves to be able to help within the production of making the product, but we will be going directly to them very soon.
So you're going into
Those three locations.
those three locations and
Yeah.
actually like contract farming?
Yes.
And okay, then now we move to your team now to say, just share a little bit of on your team so that we understand the capacity of you going in, because now
Sure.
you will need a team with agronomists for
Yeah.
you to have enough information and research, and also just out of interest, what kind of can you grow hibiscus throughout the whole year? I'm looking for the right farming
No, I get it.
terminology to understand that
so
can we
yeah.
harvest? So is it seasonal? What is it, so that we understand the?
Hibiscus is a seasonal crop, and it's only limited to the areas where it's very hot and there is just enough water for it to grow. If the area is too warm, too watery, the a plant gets stressed, so you get a lot less hibiscus. So it is a seasonal plant. Your other question was, sorry?
So if it's seasonal, what's
Yes.
your plan when it's
Oh,
off-season?
it's a crop that's dried. So from at the moment we have about 1.2 tons in our stock that we will be able to use for the rest of this year. So off season there will be product available.
And the team. No,
And the team is me. I am the main person I am the one that makes this business move from production, marketing. I do all the digital marketing. I do the approaching shops when we can. The one we have approached was me. So the team would need to grow when we do then have access to these farms directly. We would need a person who can help with the training, and I would be training in terms of doing the crushing. I also have done my own research when it comes to the hibiscus and its growing, so if that is needed, I could be that body again for that team. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for your presentation. Maybe just to add on, my question is, I like the way you are going to the rural communities, but I would like to know about the pricing. Who is pricing the raw materials how we are buying from the rural communities? Because for me, I'm just thinking at the back of my head, there is a possibility of what do you call it, exploitation of the rural community. So can you bring it out clearly in the presentation, how you empower them? Of course, you are buying from them, that's empowerment already, but pricing, who is setting the price of the raw materials?
So we buy our raw materials at $5 per kilo, and it goes directly to the farmer who has harvested that kilo.
And how are you paying them?
We pay through the organization we're buying, the organization that has trained them. But it is shown that through what we pay goes directly to the farmer.
Thank you so much, AP. Is there a burning question from the audience? No? Okay. Let's move on to the next one. So our next pitch comes from Zimbo Zabantu Healthcare on Wheels, that is represented by Tawanda today. Zimbo Zabantu is a groundbreaking initiative, the first of its kind, solar-powered mobile clinics, which have been locally repurposed to provide sustainable healthcare solution. These innovative clinics utilize telemedicine technology to facilitate seamless patient-doctor interaction. At the heart of this initiative lies Zimbo Abantu's dedication to creating meaningful employment opportunities for healthcare workers, with a particular focus on empowering individuals with disabilities and women. Tawanda, you can come to the floor.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm standing in for Chedza, who is under the weather today. Thank you so much, the panel, for giving us this opportunity. Zimbo Zabantu Mobile Clinic, is a unique intervention that we started in 2021 at the peak of COVID. We came across a lot of people coming to our house during the lockdown. They're asking for transport to the clinics. We go to the clinics were shut down. So we birthed the idea from there. We built our first prototype in 2021. It took us almost 2 years to get our licenses, going through the bureaucracy of our systems as regulators. So we formally went commercial last year in November. So the problems that we are solving, basically, it's quite a myriad of issues and a plethora of problems that usually encompass our health system in Zimbabwe, the public health system, even to some extent the private health system as well. As you know, that 90 to 91% of our people are unemployed in Zimbabwe, so it means their safety nets are also taken off them. you know, 24% have no access to physical medical infrastructure. So we are also targeting that as well to solve that problem. 40% of this population, mainly women and children, still have to walk up to 5 to 7 kilometers to access healthcare facilities, primary healthcare facilities. To do that, they have to spend just $4, which is a lot of money, just to get there. And obviously, you know, 60% of our population is still off-grid, and this speaks to the health facilities as well. So what we are providing as a solution, Zimbo Zabantu, is the mobility, which is an aspect that we realized through our experience, that it is, you know, solar-powered mobile clinic that comes with all the primary healthcare equipment and technologies. Paying more attention to the medical Internet of Things that we use and telemedicine that we make use of. The idea there is to reduce the cost of deploying a medical professional. So through this, we can be anywhere, anytime, and this gives us access to inclusive and affordable healthcare. So the innovation is really a nexus of health and energy. So we have locally built this mobile clinic. So what we do, we repurpose old vans and put up clinic setup. So how you would go into a CMAS or PSMAS clinic, the same experience is the same what you get in our mobile clinics. So it comes with solar panels on top. So we have 1,000 watts of energy to 5,000 watts of energy on top. And we have one van that is actually powered by a micro turbine, for that is wind. We have all the medical equipment that you can think of, and more of interest is also maternity health care. So it includes ultrasound scan machines, you know, mobile suction machines, you name most of the interventions that you require for a community like that. So the underserved community, you know, and our business model speaks to this level. So we have an out-of-pocket proposition. We have a pre-funded healthcare campaigns proposition. We also target the micro health insurance providers and also the corporate space that provide health education as a CSR budget. Our streams of revenue is basically the following. So there is medical consultation fees, that is 30% of our revenue. The sale of medical drugs, mainstream medical drugs, is 50%. Maternity care, 5%. Rapid tests, 10%. And pre-funded health education at 5%. So our unique selling point really is the idea of mobile clinics, moving from one community to the other. As you have probably noticed in the communities that we stay, just as how education has haphazardly been organized in the country, it almost feels the same with our health facilities. So our health mobile clinic actually helps to bridge that gap. As the country is expanding, the population is growing, but there's very little infrastructure coming through. So this gives us, you know, ability to move from about 5 kilometer radius from one community to the other. At the moment, we are actually in 5 sites. So that's mainly Chitungwiza, Caledonia, Epworth, Glenview, area we call Glenview, but it's actually Churu Farm, for those that don't know the communities very well. Churu Farm, Tanaka. Then we have an area called 401, which is Ishokunze, as you are going to Mondoro. Those are some of the typical off-grid or poor urban communities that we operate in. Obviously spoke about the solar. We also have a very large cold vaccine supply chain. We were recognized by Gavi, that is the Alliance for Vaccines globally, for the work that we did during COVID. So each of these mobile clinics comes with a 190-liter freezer that can carry a lot. That's a lot of vaccines that we can carry without going back to the center of distribution, saving us a lot of time and money. So that cold supply chain is very critical. Not only did we do COVID, we also do all the other vaccines for children, HPV, you name them. Also the use of medical Internet of Things. So our team at the moment, we just about 38. We have medical professionals, so including doctors and nurses that we work with, nurse aides, security guards, and finance and marketing team. So our impact in relation to SDGs, so we are impacting SDG number 3, which basically speaks to well-being and health. At the moment, we have done more than 28,000 people that we have impacted. Out of that 28,000 people, around 5,000 have been our commercial customers from the time we started going commercial in November. And we have SDG goal number 7, which is renewable energy, so the use of renewable energies. SDG number 12, repurposing of old vans. So we go and buy old vans and then repurpose them, giving them a new life and a new lease. Then also, we partnering with progressive recyclable medical waste partners. So we have something going on around that as well. So our financials at the moment, they're speaking. Currently, we're still wrestling with a negative profit and loss, but we have wrestled that from November, from 20,000 negative to last month we closed on minus $2,000. So that is really positive as we are growing. By the end of this year, we envisage to close it at $177,000 with a profit of just about $26,000. So our scaling plans really is to go beyond Harare. At the moment, we are operating in Harare only, but the need is great everywhere, but very little help is coming through. Reducing the whole walking distance that women especially have to endure. The burden of health is on women in most of these households. We are looking at improving employment as well for the health professionals in the country. So our objective is to grow the business model. So introduction of specialties like cervical cancer screening and treatment, they are very less for the poor. You can find one in Newlands, but that is for those with money. But those without money have nowhere to go. Partnerships with government as well. So currently we have a partnership with National AIDS Council. So that should really push our figure from July going up. That gives us access to about 8,000 patients. We have an MOU with Old People's Association that is in Chitungwiza. That gives us access to 15,000 members as a power group. So we are building partnerships with different players in the sector. Our funding need ask is $500,000. That will help us to build 9 more mobile clinics. Then eventually create, so we're having this ask as a grant or a quasi equity or a loan, a repayable loan. We have a model of, at least we give ourselves up to 10% interest to be paid if it is a loan. We're hoping to get this fund by H2 2023. We have put in as equity holders in this over $150,000. So what will 500,000 do to the community? So from 500,000, we hope to create a total revenue of 4.1 million over the tenure of the grant or the loan period. Build 9 more new mobile clinics. So we are building this on our own, as I said. Increase our reach to about 993,000 new customers, new patients every year. Create 34 full-time employees and about 8 part-time employees, and employ 3 more doctors. So that's the end of it all. There's our contact details. Thank you so much.
Maybe before my colleagues ask questions, just a caution, as someone who used to work for government before, you talk about 91% unemployment. Source of that statistics, you have to be careful when you are throwing out such kind of statistics, because if you ask Zimstat, they will say our unemployment is not that high. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I'm very passionate about health. So I just wanted to ask 3 questions. So knowing someone else who's very passionate about what you're trying to offer, I forget the medical term. So you are offering what you call, what are those like services like, it's a wrong word, like entry, like primary, thank you so much, it was just not there, primary health care. So but are you, like if you're offering maternity services, I stand corrected, you need to be affiliated to a referral hospital. So have you put that in place to say your mobile clinics will be, and how is that process going?
Yeah, we have partnerships with different referral centers from where we operate from. It's not just for maternity, but for the whole bouquet of primary health care and the aftercare as well.
And the aftercare.
Yeah,
as well.
so for any serious conditions, we then have to refer to. So we have partnerships with different doctors and doctor rooms that we can, pass on patients that are not meant for the primary health care.
Okay. Great. No, I've got great confidence with what I've seen. I want to talk about the equipment that is in your mobile and where are you sourcing that from, and and your maintenance for the scaling strategy to maintain that equipment.
Yeah.
Before you answer that, I got a question which is linked to that one. I was just thinking that you are taking Makombi and rehabilitating them. So I was just thinking, maybe you've done that already. Just educate us. Isn't it cheaper just to buy something which is already made up, import it, and because my understanding is there's no duty on ambulances and something like that. So just answer together.
Maybe just let me add. It's in one of my 1,000 questions that I have for you. Yeah, so you say an old vehicle. So I want to say why, if it's mobile. Because if it's mobile, just to move, and you must imagine you're getting to airport today, clinic. Yeah, because this guy is dead or something. That's just so that you answer in one go.
Yeah.
Why old?
Yeah, so we believe less is more. And we're also working with personal investment. So going for a new van, you'll probably need more than $80,000 to get a proper van done. But if we're building on our own, tops, we need about $43,000 to rebuild it and put the medical equipment in there. And also, not only is that, we also have a bias towards creating employment within the means that we control. Obviously, with deeper pockets from what we are doing here, we'll definitely go for brand new vans. But at the moment, it's not, it's not a good idea for us to do that because we don't have that kind of fund. To get a full utility vehicle is very costly.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, but $500,000 will just give me a tops, maybe 3 or 4 vans. But if I can still do 9 vans out of the 5, it's equally good. You'll be surprised if you were to see one of our vans or all of our vans. It's equally good. It just does the same job. And also, we're trying to recycle, right? And the idea actually was more strengthened at the time. If you remember that time, the government banned combis. So we kind of had a lot of them lying around. So we had to repurpose some of those. But I agree with you, with deeper pockets, we definitely would go for brand new vans.
I just want to add that actually with repurposing and this whole new trend towards circularity, they can actually get more funding as a result of recycling like old vehicles. So
yeah. So the other question was on the medical equipment. Yeah. So we in 2022, sometime in February, we got a grant from the Australian Embassy, about $42,000 to buy the medical equipment. So as a net importer, we're definitely getting that out from outside the country. But we get some of it from locals as well, so local suppliers. So they come along with, warranty and after-sales service for all of that.
Okay, thank you very much. I just wanted to qualify my questions, right? So that you understand from where I'm coming from, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so firstly, like I sit in the international board for Doctors Without Borders. You would know them.
Yeah.
I've been involved in running a mobile clinic in Bay Bridge with migrants.
Okay.
And all. So I understand what you're trying to do. Firstly, so my first question, a couple of them, but there isn't enough time. So the first one, how much is your cost, your consultation cost? in this community?
Yeah,
Just
so
to know generally, is it like how much?
so as a social enterprise, it's $6.
So it's $6.
But at government, it's even $15. So we are trying to have inclusive health here.
Yeah, I just wanted to know that because I have so many questions, but I won't ask all of them, right?
Yeah, sure.
And then you mentioned that 50% of your revenue is from drugs.
Yeah.
Pharmacy. How are you selling these drugs? Are they in the mobile van? So you have a pharmacy. You have.
So we have a covering pharmacist, and the MCAS allows us to do what we call, they operate under the license called outreach. So this is one of the things that took us long to register. But they have created, so they are in the process of creating a bylaw for mobile pharmacy. But at the moment, we are an extension of an existing physical brick and mortar pharmacy.
Yeah, so thank you. I wanted to know, because I understand also like the pharmacy and the telemedicine, right?
Yeah.
Can you comment or clarify on your telemedicine?
Yeah.
Because I'm just looking at the context, not only here in Zim.
Yeah.
I'm aware of like in South Africa and in Zambia, and it's like been a big monster, so to speak, that we've been trying to solve.
Yeah.
Like, and then you're touching on it. What does it mean? What did you mean?
Yeah. So we've got an MOU with Maisha. So we actually making use of satellite internet. It's still a bit on the high end, that cost of deployment. But we're trying to reduce that with good partnerships. So we're hoping to get more satellite providers to give us at relatively cheaper rates for us to do that. But we have a platform that is running. We have an MOU with Maisha for that.
And last question: where is the clinic today located, and how does the roster work in the areas? Because I know for sure, like for instance, we built a clinic like in airport, right? So if you go in airport with Doctors Without Borders, you're in the space, you know what I'm talking about. I just want to know, right now, today, where is the clinic?
So in airport, it's at Overspill. So what we do is...
But I mean today, right now, where is the clinic today?
Today it's in Overspill. Right now it's in we have 5 more
clinics.
clinics.
You said you have 5 locations.
Yeah.
Chitungiza Airport, Churu Farm, Taka 401, Captain.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know where.
Yeah, so Caledonia is a place called Gazebo, which is a very high populous area in airport Overspill.
Yeah, I know. But I'm saying, where is it today? My question is very specific.
Yeah.
I want to know, like, is the clinic running today at Overspill?
Yeah, it is running. Oh, okay. I thought you were looking for the location. Yes, it is operating. We run.
Today it's at Overspill.
Yeah. So we operate on 12 hours, that's 7 days. We actually used to do 24 hours, but the night services were not that popular. They were not carrying their own weight, so it cut the wage bill. So we went back to 12 hours.
So the clinic, does it rotate? Sorry, I just want to know, like it moves from airport in specific days.
So in airport, it stays in airport, but it goes to sub-locations within airport. So we have 4 touch points in every location. But at the moment, we have realized that we have gained so much traction that we stay in one area for long enough, and then we do what we call just sub-locational intervention. So we go, for example, to a farm called Butler Farm, which is closer to airport, just because the farm workers cannot come to, so we have to follow them. So in every area we have touch points, 4 touch points. In Caledonia it's the same thing. In Glenville it's the same thing. And so we go deeper and deeper into those areas. Yeah.
So you have 4 vans or you have 1 van?
We have 4 vans.
So you have 4 vans.
And
okay, so it's
yeah.
there. Now I understand.
Yeah.
So you have 4 vans, and then they are located in these areas.
In these areas, yeah. So the 5th location.
One other question is, it's a very interesting about something you spoke about these days. I think the microfinance does balance pharmacy. So when you're talking about selling medicine, how are you dealing with the volatile macroeconomic environment when it comes to inflation? The exchange rate and the pricing, especially pharmacies, notorious for using very high exchange rates. So how are you managing that? Otherwise, maybe we recommend you, and then we hear next month microfinance expand.
Yeah, I mean, the practice is we are using multi-currency. So we're also making use of the multi-currencies. And when clients come to purchase using the local money, we're using the official rate to do that. Yeah. And our volumes are not yet there. to really, as a red flag, yeah.
Okay, so I have a question around your international potential to scale. Tell me about your plans to scale beyond Zimbabwe, if you have any.
No, we do have. The natural inclination is go to Zambia, Malawi. That is the initial thought. But we also have some interest from Mozambique and all. But we're also very cautious about that. We don't want to move too early because we're just 6 months into our commercial launch, so it almost feels like a pilot project. But if you ask me, with more money, definitely we need to go to those countries, yeah.
Thank you so much, Tawanda. Any burning questions from the audience? Okay, we have a burning question. Sorry, Tawanda, we've got someone who wants to ask something.
All right, so I've actually seen one of your buses, and I think it's a pretty good thing. My question is, how would you deal with the security of that bus? Because if you're looking at it, it's a piggy bank on wheels. So how would you deal with the security of it? Because if something gets stolen, let's say someone steals the medicine, you've made a huge loss, and I don't think you'll be able to cover it in terms of getting new medicine.
Yeah, so we have CCTVs on there. Though they are not first internally, they are first externally for privacy reasons, patient privacy. We also have security guards, which is why you realize our OPEX is still very high because we have to have too many moving parts there. So we have 3 guards on each site. So 2, 1 for the day, night, and the relief guard.
Thank you. Okay. So our next presentation comes from Nanga Trust, represented by Chipo Chikomo, who is very ready for you guys. Okay, so Nanga Trust is an innovative social enterprise spearheading a revolution in the menstrual health and hygiene sector in Zimbabwe. Since its inception in 2018, this initiative has positively impacted the lives of over 20,000 rural girls by providing them with washable towels, promoting sustainability and reducing waste. Nanga Trust has received several prestigious awards, including Best Eco-Innovation in Zimbabwe, the Green Innovation Award, the Value Creation Award, and the Social Impact Award. These accolades highlight the organization's commitment to creating innovative solutions that address critical societal challenges while promoting sustainability and positive social change. Chipo, over to you.
Imagine being forced to use cow dung, maize cobs, leaves, newspapers to manage your menstrual flow because you are too poor to menstruate. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Chipo Chikomo. I'm the founder of Nanga Trust. 72% of rural schoolgirls in Zimbabwe cannot afford sanitary towels because they are just too expensive for them, making SDG 4 of ensuring inclusive and equitable quality education utopian. When girls are forced to resort to using these unconventional means to manage their flow, this may lead to premature death attributed to cancer and various other infections, SDG 3. The root cause of all this is gender inequality, which promotes the discrimination of girls, which is SDG 5. Our innovation is the washable sanitary pad. This pad lasts up to 5 years, ensuring that girls do not miss school, SDG 4, and also ensuring that they are not at risk of various infections caused by using unhealthy means to manage their flow, SDG 3. We also provide menstrual health education to both boys and girls because we found out that for us to eliminate gender inequality, we also have to include boys in our programming. And this helps to shatter stigma which discriminates girls in our society. We have a zero waste policy. So when we manufacture our pads,
instead of throwing away the offcuts of a fabric, we use it instead to make various products, which are breast pads for nursing mothers. And also, if you look at that folder that you're holding, it is made from our recycled paper, which we use the fabric from. So currently, I'm incubated at the Waterfalls Industrial Hub, where we are trying to make box packaging from the recycled paper, which we'll then use to package our products. Our unique selling point is that we are giving back girls days in school by providing our washable pads, which last up to 5 years. We are providing menstrual health choices for girls to use. Why would you buy from us instead of our competitors? It is because we are internationally gold certified, which means that we can also export our products because they are quality, they meet the quality standards. We have government approval from the Ministry of Health, authorization to train inmates for our scaling plan, and we are a trusted brand which is attested by the local and international brands that support our work. For our team, I am the founder and director with over 15 years experience as a development practitioner, working for international agencies, and I am equipped with strategic planning skills. We've got our production manager, who's also our human resources manager, who's got 30 years experience as a human resources personnel. We've got our advisor, who is a pharmacist, and we've got 6 tailors, 1 student. We also have an consultant, accountant who comes to do our financials. Our impact relation to our SDGs is that we have so far impacted over 20,000 schoolgirls with our sanitary packs, making access to inclusive and equitable education SDG 4, therefore eliminating gender disparities. Our health education, we have so far targeted and reached 100,000, both boys and girls, as a form to end discrimination against girls, therefore ensuring gender equality and empowering girls, SDG 5. The 20,000 girls that we have impacted ensures that we are able to achieve goal number 3 of healthy lives and well-being. Our numbers to date, for the past 3 years, we have sold for a worth of 47,328 packs. That's the money that we have managed to make. And when we increase our production from the current 620 packs that we're able to make a month, we will be able to make about 19,200 packs per month. This will be made because we would have trained 100 more tailors to be able to make that. And in the first year, we'll be able to make about $4,608,000. And for our scaling plans, we are looking at what we already have within ourselves. So we find out that because we've got so many partnerships with different arms, like the government, we can ensure that we are able to make more pads by training 100 prison inmates to be able to increase our production output. We currently have a joint venture with Handin Foods, which is a family business, and I'm also one of the directors. Handin Foods has got an industrial property in Chinoi, so our intention is to be able to renovate that industrial site and also use it as part of our scaling plan. We intend to make this, our solution, a government delivery model. For the past 3 years, government has been allocating millions of dollars towards the provision of sanitary towels to schoolgirls in rural areas. And already we have approval from different ministries that we can be able to provide that. What we only lack is the production capacity to be able to do that. Our objectives and challenges, we are looking to train 100 inmates from first with Chikuru Bifiribel prison. We've been given all the prisons in Zimbabwe to be able to do that, but we are first targeting female inmates, especially those who have got children in hospital, in the prison system. And we want to purchase industrial sewing machines. We want to develop our eco-packaging and renovate our industrial site in Chinhoyi. For our awards, we have won the USAID grant in 2016, UNICEF, SNV Green Innovation, and the Old Mutual Value Creation Challenge. Recently this year, we won the Zimtrade Social Impact Award. Our ask is of 500,000, which we'll use for training, buying our fabric, and also we want to buy an off-road. So if you find we are working all across Zimbabwe, and at times when we want to distribute, for example, when I've got some areas where I'm already saying that this area, ooh, you know, with our truck that we use, it's a small vehicle, it's very difficult for us to navigate to go to those areas. And thank you for the support that we have received, either through funding or buying of our packs to these brands. Thank you. Those are my contact details.
All right. Thank you, Chifa, for your presentation and the work that you're doing with women, which is obviously, hopefully, close to all of our hearts, boys and girls included. So I have a question with regard to your customers. Can you talk us through who buys your products?
Okay. So who buys our products is when we first started, we found out that our target community was rural schoolgirls. And already they cannot afford, for example, the dollar pads, the disposable that are already on them in the market. They cannot afford them. So our target market, when you look at our partners and supporters, these are organizations that buy either for their wash programs. Those are our customers. They are the ones that buy, and then the users are the schoolgirls in the different communities.
Okay, and then going forward, you said your scaling ambition is 19,200 per month?
Yes.
So are you planning on using the same model for your scaling ambitions, or do you have something else planned?
This is only for one prison. So we've been given the whole of Zimbabwe, all the prisons. So we're just starting with 100, and Chikurubi doesn't have only 100 women. We're just starting for our scaling plan so that we're able to manage it, monitor it, because we've never done it before.
Sorry, I mean for your customer base. So the 19,200 that you're producing per month, who is your customer with those? Are you still targeting corporates, NGOs?
Yes. What has been happening, we are still targeting the NGOs. What has been happening is that we are not able to meet the minimum audit requirements for our clients. We are on the supplier list, for example, for UNICEF. So usually when they request for tender bids, they request maybe units of 10,000 maybe per month. So we are not even yet able to supply only one customer, such a customer.
Okay, thank you. Great presentation. I just want to understand something.
Okay.
Firstly, how many pitch competitions have you won to date? And the value of the money that you've won? I just need like a figure so that because I move on quickly.
Okay. We have won about 30,000. And there are about 4 to 5 pitch competitions, yeah.
No, it's not a bad thing, it's a good thing. Actually,
Yes.
because my dissertation study or my master's, not that I'm showing off, I have 2 of them, but I'm not showing off.
Okay.
It was like on how African startups can use competitions to fund your business, because you're not going to get investors. So my dissertation was on how you can use startup competitions to raise money. It's perfectly okay. What I'm just trying to understand is from the 30,000, right? And then you sold 47,328 to date, right? So, and then suddenly somehow you are going to project to make 4 million in your first year, right? I'm trying to pull up all those numbers because I know this kind of pitch. And we want also to guard against what I personally call only pitch entrepreneurs. So these people are very good at telling the story. They now know how to press the buttons. You know, so I want you to really be a very strong entrepreneur who is going to pitch and really build a business that scales. So sorry, so maybe I sound a little bit, but that's why I'm asking you this question.
Okay. All right, let me take you back. When we first started, we were just starting up. We didn't know how to start up. Like what you're rightly putting, we didn't have access to funding. And this was to help us start. So now we realize that we want to scale. And when you go to banks, they are asking for different collateral and stuff like that. And we are not able to access those at the moment. That's when we realize that now we need to move faster to be able to scale up much faster to meet the requirements of the customers that are currently knocking on our doors. So this is now scaling funding that we are looking at. The previous one, we were just starting, and we wanted to start our production and demonstrate that we are able to sell, we are able to have customers come knocking on our doors.
Okay.
And sorry, okay, the other, we had just been given to say production of 3 years before, but we have actually sold about $90,000 worth of sanitary towels.
Oh, 90,000. Okay,
yes.
thank you. Okay, so yeah, of course, on collateral, you mentioned that you have a warehouse with another brand in Chinhoyi.
Yes.
I'm just saying, you mentioned that, and then here, the Chikurubi, according to what you've given us here, your grant letter in Chikurubi to go into the prisons was in 2021 or in 2023, right? Maybe you would want to speak into that.
Okay, sure.
And then the UNICEF here is speaking on the research on the user experience of this. I just have a slight insight on the different studies that have done with this use of these sanitary pads from the actual users, right? The NGOs and yourself, you create them, right? And you're giving them out, but the research on the user. So speak to the research and the Chikurubi 2021, now in 2023. Why?
Okay,
Yeah,
all right. Okay, so in 2021, it was during the lockdown period. That's when we got that authority to be able to go into prison. What has been stopping us is because at the moment we do not have funds to scale. That's why we are here. We don't have funds to start training the inmates because already they've got the sewing machines, that's what they told us. But what they need is the fabric. As you can see, the fabric is not found in Zimbabwe. It's 100% cotton. Our textile industry collapsed. So we don't have a way where we can access them. We need to import them from South Africa, from different countries. So for us to be able to buy at large scale, we are looking at putting so much money into that. So at the moment, we have been actually putting a lot of funds in buying bulk material because we access it out of the country. What we're only able to find in Zimbabwe is thread. The packaging, this is also biodegradable. We are not able to find it here. The plastic snaps, we are not able to find them in Zimbabwe. So those are some of the challenges that we are facing in terms of our local value chain, in terms of output. And then when you asked about UNICEF, what you were alluding that the user experience might be different. For our products, because products are different, this is why our product is unique. Products are different. Some of them, they don't meet the international standards, even local standards. So the user experience might be terrible because some people just think, Kungo Bata needs a machira, and then they run with it. And then they are the first ones to start selling to the customer. So when you come, they will don't say, takambo ashandisa. They were not of a good quality. But what I can tell you is with our products, with the number of people that we have sold to, they last over, we have found out that they last, we write that they last over for a year, but with experience, they last up to 5 years, and they are very safe to use.
Okay, no, thank you. Just a return on that. I just
Sure,
want to
sure.
let you know that there are like about 6 or so studies that I know
Okay.
in different markets in Zim, DRC, and the like that were commissioned to check on the user experience of this product.
Okay.
And then there are, of course, a lot of startups that are coming up to sell this kind of product.
Yeah,
and
sure.
those research is there online. You may want to, because this one on the UNICEF on your document is August 2022, like they were asking to do. So my question was, what was the outcome of this specific one? Well, what did UNICEF gather as the result from them doing this specific one, the one that you
They haven't yet communicated. What they did was they wanted to first go to our suppliers, interview them, go to the end users, interview them. Thank you very much. They haven't yet come back. Yes.
So Fusa has asked all my questions.
You can ask.
But we are very proud every time Fusa shows off, because I think Oxy
Yeah.
and I, as people who have allowed him to write the dissertation.
He's quite knowledgeable. You know,
Yes, no, I
yes.
think please take note of those researches.
Yes, I
We
will.
have our very own Dr. Nadia Ngube,
Okay.
who's done a whole PhD
Mhm.
on the commercialization of the menstruation process of a woman. So very valuable information that you could find from her PhD
All right.
results alone.
Okay,
So
thank you
I
very
think I think most of my questions, yeah, it will come back. Let me.
And also to just add on that, okay, so the packs come in different prices. So that one is a deluxe pack, which actually is one of the fastest moving ones. It goes for $20. It includes panties and towels, soap, and this one goes for $15. The other smart pack.
I think you have partly answered one of my questions. One of my questions was on the pricing of your product.
Okay.
And because I see your target market are the poor rural communities, but I gather, I got a sense that for you to reach out to the poor rural communities, you are relying more on donors. So my question is also linked to, do you have any plans to go beyond the poor, not rural, those who can afford, so that you don't rely on donors, so that you have got your own clients, like the previous presenter in Airport, we see them as poor, but those people, they have money. You would be surprised that someone anobudisa $100, you're thinking that we are working in a very, very, very poor community. So my plans, you're scaling up plans. Do you plan to go beyond where you are not being funded, where you are just looking directly to your clients? And also maybe you're working with the Minister of Health, but there's also Minister of Finance who make laws like removing customs duty on sanitary products which are imported. So how does that affect your business? Have you tried to pitch to them? Because obviously, even our cost structures here, imported ones might be cheaper than what you're producing.
Okay, thank you very much for those questions. When we go to rural communities and we are distributing to schoolgirls, it will be targeting everyone. So you've got parents that are there. And one of the requests that they always say is, why are these pads not available in supermarkets? We are already using Machira Kudara. This is an upgrade that you have made. Why don't you make them available? Titori nemari dzachona, takara tikutoshandisa Machira. And we're also looking at pregnant women. I myself used to use them when I had my children twice. So these can be used for postnatal care for mothers, postpartum care. And we also did look even in urban areas, looking at affluent areas. We're also supplying West Minot shop, and it was one of the fastest moving products from the shop, because there are some people who want products that are eco-friendly, that have got no chemicals, and that are made of 100% cotton, which they have been referred to by their gynecologist. So other people, they're actually looking for such products. We've got various pharmacies that have also approached us, but we have not yet supplied them because our scale, like what you're saying, we cannot have that.
Okay, in reference to your scale plans and to use the prisoners, so I stand corrected, having done a 6-month project with Chikurupi women, and at that point the prison had capacity to carry 100 women.
Okay.
And of those 100 women, only maybe 30 women were actually sentenced and would be there to be for longer. The rest are on remand and could, not on remand, but could be out in a few months. So I'm just thinking of your production capacity and scale, and just to get those facts correct on that 100.
Okay, sure.
And also the modalities of working with a prison, because for us, the letter alone, you can confirm how long did it take you to get that letter to enter that prison?
It took us very long. Like
it takes a month or two at every point that you need to go to the prison. So you have to also take into consideration all those aspects and the way they will affect your productivity. Unless once the project kicks off, you don't need. I'm just thinking of all that from my experience working with prisons. And we also had access to all the prisons, but I was exhausted just from dealing with one prison.
Thank you so much for that.
No, seriously, I would come home and sleep for 3 hours because at the end of the day, it's just the process of dealing. And those women need a lot of counseling.
Okay, sure.
They need so there's a lot that is involved in getting that whole production with the prisoners alone.
I think that's why we are also looking at Chinoi as well, to getting all this getting started. But thanks for the feedback, because you've got the experience. We intend to start, and that will be very necessary for us to have that at the back of our mind.
Out of time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Chipo. Chipo was our last presentation for today. So we'll give our esteemed judges 15 minutes to deliberate. When they come back, they'll be telling us which top 3 ventures are we nominating to be part of the global phase of this program. So just to explain a little bit about that. So there are about 10 hubs that are running this program locally, like we did here. And each hub is to hand in 3 ventures that they think have potential to scale internationally. And then there'll be a global jury that will go through everyone's applications from each hub, and then from there they'll select 10 that will, then go to Geneva, get training, meet investors, and all this fun stuff. So that's what we were doing here. So thank you everyone who presented. You all did very well, made me very proud. But we're now going to take a 15-minute break, and then we'll be back here and we'll make the announcement, and then we'll move on to lunch. Okay. Yes.
One recommendation for all the presenters, because I see when we are looking at our goals, look inside the targets. Like goal number 17, no one mentioned it, but there are companies who are already making profit already. So there is payment of taxes. I think when we were here, my colleague Ethel was hammering on that one. So that's one goal which you can include in your presentations for those who are already making profit, that we contribute taxes. So the taxes, the money will go to government so that they can fund the SDGs. It's just a recommendation for those who are going forward. Thank you.
All right, thank you for that recommendation. Okay, so we're going to a break. Thank you.